Hey everybody, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caleb.
Totally brothers.
That's true. You know, guys, I'm very particular about what I let my children watch on TV.
Was that an understatement?
Garbage everywhere. You know, in these cartoons, they have Eastern religions and mysticism and witchcraft and good witches, bad. So I have to sit down and watch with my kids, you know, and really preview what's going on. I was watching one cartoon with them the other day. It was with, you know, British talking pigs. And this little talking pig was in class with her little animal friends. And the teacher asked, "Class, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And one little kid raised his hand like, "Oh, I want to be the queen." "Oh, so I can tell people what to do." Teacher said, "Okay, anybody else?" One kid said, "I want to be a teacher." This made the teacher really excited. She was like, "Okay, what do you like best about being a teacher?" She says, "You get to tell people what to do."
Ooh, I like that too.
And one kid said, "I want to be a police officer." She says, yeah, so I can tell people what to do." This went on and on. It's humorous but true, but the ultimate desire of fallen man, of the country, the government, even of Satan himself, is to control another person's life.
You see, the devil, he was kind of, I don't know, a little envious because he didn't have free will, and he wanders up into a garden with a couple folks there named Adam and Eve who all of a sudden do have free will.
That's true.
And instantly in his jealousy, he made it his mission to rob them.
Oh.
And so he set out,
Yes.
out of anger, to try to take away our free will. Now, guys, we hear all the time, man is inherently good, this and that. If you don't think that this desire for us to control everyone else around us doesn't exist from the time we're little tiny, go negotiate with a toddler. Go tell them, no, tiny toddler, you will not throw your poop diaper on somebody in the middle of Walmart. No, you will go to bed now.
Yeah.
You will eat peas in your mouth, not your nose. And they will not only defy you, they will win most of the time.
That's true.
This is a nature that has been infused in us because of sin all the way back then.
That's true. Galatians 5:1 says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourself be burdened again by the yoke of slavery." You see, when we surrender to sin, we surrender our free will over to the enemy, and we are held in bondage. Now, sometimes, like that scripture said, don't be entangled again in the yoke of slavery. Paul was referring to good things, like the Jews he was speaking to were trying to follow kosher laws and keep Sabbath and all these things, but they were trying to find their justification back in the law after they had been redeemed from Messiah.
With like circumcision, right?
Yeah, like circumcision. So good, you know, but so sometimes Satan will try to deceive us and try to say, oh, these things are good, like this one system of government, everybody's equal, everybody has the same amount of money, you can sit around and do nothing and get freebies, communism. Or he'll say, you know, maybe you shouldn't go to church because you could catch the plague and you could get others sick as well, and you're really being a hero by staying at home. He'll try to use these areas of deception.
It boils down that it's here to two camps now, slavery versus freedom.
That's true.
Okay? And Yeshua himself says in Luke 4:18, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to set liberty to those who are oppressed. Yeshua came to set us free.
Yes.
And the enemy has come to keep us in slavery and bondage. And today, the battle is still being fought. It's being fought a little more insidiously with our thought, with our free will, with our free speech, with all these different things that are trying to be controlled.
Yeah.
And it used to be that the movement back in the day with the sweet hippies that looked just like us.
Oh, yeah.
And awesome.
Tolerance,
that it was a
man.
message of
Hey,
tolerance.
dude.
In fact, not too long ago, we saw bumper stickers and things that said like coexist.
Oh, yeah.
And this was the message of a group that was saying we all need to work together and we need to believe what everybody believes together.
Yes.
And what's interesting is how that shift has occurred in such a short period of time. Even now, if I go into my social media pages and I see some people that I know posting things during all the stuff that's happened this year, people will say, I'm not going to coexist next to someone who believes exactly opposite of me. I don't want to have anything to do with them. All of a sudden, this idea went from you can feel however you want to if you don't believe the way we do, get out.
And we're going to silence you. And you see that even happening to the church, how even the government has tried to encroach upon the church. During times of the plague, they're saying it's just for your protection, but really they're trying to keep you from assembling together. Everybody they want you to think and feel the certain way that they do. They want to take away your spiritual identity as being Christians. And you know, we've seen this in the past, Josh. When the children of Israel were taken captive by the Assyrians, by the Babylonians, they were assimilated into their new environment in Babylon, in Assyria, and they were required to take on new names. Babylonian names, the names of these gods, worship these new pantheon of gods. The Greeks did the same thing. You know the story of Hanukkah. You know, they want to take away your identity, your nationalism, so that you become one of them. And it's happening today, Josh. It's happening today on every level, you know, whether it's in schools, whether you've seen it through social media, through the media, through news stories, and through government. Everyone is trying to instill their way of thinking. A certain government,
Isn't there a type of government? A couple type of governments?
There's types of government. Okay. You see communist China, for example, or former communist Russia, you see these Islamic states. And in these places, you don't have the freedom of speech. You don't have the freedom to worship. They may say you do, but if you try to speak out against their government, and you try to speak the truth of the gospel, you could be thrown in prison. You could be threatening citations, even in socialist Europe. You can be thrown in jail for bigoted speech if you speak about morality. And I wasn't really going to speak about it, but socialism and communism, they're basically the same thing. Why is this bad? You know, there's the obvious things. They take away individual liberty. They conform you to their system of thought, to beliefs. But when it all boils down to it, even though it's never worked in the past in any system or country that's tried it, it's an affront to God. Because you are putting your reliance on a system that is going to be your source instead of God being your source. And that's wrong.
And as we described, the reason it never works is because it goes down to man's sin. And man's sin wants to control and be the dominant one.
That's right.
So regardless if you say we're all going to work together, be one, we're all going to be equal, there's going to be somebody that rises up and tries to take control.
That's true.
And the other problem that we're having today is that victim mentality that the enemy tries to push on us is more rampant than ever.
Okay.
The victim mentality is trying to organize everybody into different groups based off of who you belong with, what color your skin is, what your creed is, and try to proclaim a message of victimization. Whether you have been victimized in the past or not isn't the question. It's that we're leading off now with our identity is based off of our victimization.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is the Jewish people have been horribly victimized throughout history. Horribly victimized.
More than any other nation.
Even down to the millions that were murdered in cold blood in World War II. The problem is that the enemy wants us to keep us in this position of opposition against our fellow man and everyone else based off of me first.
But also you see that control rise up, people, why do you think people love social media, Josh, is because you can control another person. You can
selfies are amazing.
You can become an internet star and garner the praise of millions. You can be an internet bully and bring someone to fear and to panic. You can be in control of your life with social media, and you think you're getting all this worship and praise, and really any worship and praise that you get automatically defaults to Satan. If it's not going to God, it's going to Satan. It's like, Josh, this little shrub right here.
Hi, shrub.
And let's say we just worship this shrub and for its greatness.
Shrub.
Do you think this shrub in and of itself is garnering all the praise? No, it's just Satan. No, paganism, they worship shrubs in the past.
That shrub is Satan.
Satan gets the glory and praise. Guys,
it comes down to what we said.
Yeah.
The enemy wants to control you, and God came to set you free. In John 8:31-32, it says, Then Jesus said to those Jews who believed him, If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Do not allow someone else to put you in bondage today when Yeshua came to set you free.
And how does Yeshua set you free, Josh? By submitting to him. He's not going to impede on your will. The Holy Spirit's a gentleman. He's not going to force you to do anything. But when you surrender your free will to God, he sets you free. When you try to control your environment, Satan holds you in bondage. Simple as that.
So simple. We love you guys.
Oh, we love you.
Don't get frustrated. Don't be impeded upon. Don't impede in the snow. It turns yellow. There's a lot of things you shouldn't do. But you should love Yeshua. And
join us next time.
Why not?
Do something random in there.